everybody, welcome back. We've got a small project today out here in the garage. I'd like to take a little more advantage of what's the attic space above the garage here. I've already got a scuttle hole, but I wanted to make it a little more easily accessible. So I picked up this Keller brand attic ladder. It is an aluminum ladder. And this one specifically fits a 22.5-inch wide opening, 54 inches long, and it can fit between a 7'8" and a 10'3" ceiling. Basically what you do is you'll have to end up cutting off the bottom blades of this to adjust for your floor height, but it's supposed to work really well. Gives you all different specs on here, really how much space you need to do all this and whatnot. So stick around with me here. I'll show you how I kind of get it up in there, how I install it, and how it works in my garage, and kind of my grand plan of this. So just to give you a bird's eye view here, like I said, it says it's a universal fit for a 8-foot to 10-foot ceiling, lightweight, long lasting. This is the aluminum ladder. It's the Keller brand ladder. You can see on top here, 375-pound max capacity. Kind of another reason why we did it, and then you can kind of see here in the photo we're achieving today. Comes in a nice package, comes with all the lag screws you need to install it. Basically all you need is some 1x4s, one of them fancy powered screwdrivers, and a little bit of patience and time. So let's go ahead and get through this, and we'll go from there. Like always, when I'm doing this installation, if you have questions, comments below, I'll make sure I get to them on a timely manner. So if you have questions in specific application, how we can help you out. I've seen people use these ones before in a specific type, and they work really well. One thing that's different about this specific ladder is it uses gas assist shocks instead of springs. So we'll go ahead and open this up here and get it to work. Alright, so for install, you got the pull down rope, and you put on the bottom side here, and then you have your lag screws and washers for installation, and then your smaller screws for these feet. These feet actually will go on the bottom of the ladder, so they're not marring on the floor, and then you'll set your finalized height that way after you cut it off. We got 2 of those feet, and then obviously the instructions. So in this specific case, everything in here you need to install it, except for, let me make a couple comments here. It comes with the included fasteners, but what you'll need are a couple of 1x4s for temporary support, some shims to shim the unit in place, make sure it's square, the deck screws, and then obviously you need your normal carpenter square, the drill, hammer, hacksaw, an 1/8" drill bit, a 9/32 drill bit, pencil, step ladder tape measure, wrench, a 7/16 to be exact, a Phillips driver. They don't mention it here, but you also need a second person for doing this. That way you can help get it up in there, because you'll put your support pieces on the end, but you still need help getting it up into the opening. So just taking a closer look at the ladder, you have the aluminum ladder itself, the drop down opening and the wood opening it mounts to. And then on the back side here, you have this, do not cut this specific zip tie. It keeps this from unfolding till you get it up in the attic. And then here you have your gas assist shocks instead of your spring ones you usually see. So looks to be all on good tack. So we'll go ahead and get this moving. So up here in the attic, you need a 22.5-inch opening. So between my trusses here, 22.5-inch, I do make a bigger one for wider truss spans. And you'll need 54 inches in this direction. So I need to make my opening a little bit wider. And then I need to install some 2x4s across each end, across the trusses, to keep everything nice and structurally sound there.
All right, let's go ahead and get up here and take a gander. I've got a couple of 2x4s, one at each end, that I cut across and made a nice snug fit between the joists. I did put 3 3-inch screws in each end of the board to get a nice secure attachment. And I did do some pre-drilling here to make sure stuff didn't crack. And like I said, you'll see the opening here. It's 54 inches long and 22.5 inches wide. It's best to use a couple of 1x4s, but apparently I used all of them that I needed here to get the ladder up in. So I've got a 1x3, which is going to work fine on an old deck board. In this next process, we'll be setting that ladder up in there, and these boards will be holding it in place while we fasten it and shim everything square. All right, I'm going to hop up here in the attic, and you need one person on the ground and one up in the attic to do this. I apologize in advance. The GoPro stopped recording mid lift up here, so I need to get that figured out. But basically what my dad's going to do here is hand me up the ladder. We're going to push it up in there and set it on top of these boards. I'm going to pull the ladder to me on my end tight to that 2x4, and I'm going to anchor it in place with a couple of deck screws just to keep it from moving, because you want it to be tight on one end. We'll go ahead and I'll get a couple more temporary screws in it, and then my dad will take off these boards, drop the ladder, and I'll hop down out of there.
Well, we got it up and in. You'll see on the side here, we got the shims on the side to shim it all into place. We got our tight to this end as it says in the instructions, and she's all square to the world. Let me pull her open here for you. I'll open her up. Beautiful. So now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put 1x4s along here and finish it off on the outside, and then I'm also going to put some expansion foam in between here to fill it all in. All right, so instead of using a utility knife, I use these, you'll notice this in here, I used composite wood shims. So I'm going to use my multi-tool here, my oscillating tool, and I'm going to cut those off clean, and I'll show you guys kind of how I did the install. All right, let me give you a little bird's eye view here. Up inside, so you'll see. Let me grab my flashlight. We got the 4 legs across the front. When you're putting this up, you're going to push it tight against your hinge end. It's going to tell you the instructions that, and put a couple screws in to pull it tight there. And then along the side here, it came with a couple extra legs, so I went ahead and put them in. But you got one here, same on the other side, back here. One at each end where it shows it, and then here on the end you've got your screws that you use to help square it up, right? And then when you're doing this, obviously you use shims. I already cut my shims off like I showed you guys, but shim everywhere you're putting a screw in to make sure you're not pulling something and breaking it. So far so good. Now we have this in. You'll see again in the opening I've got headers running across between the joists, and she's not going anywhere. So now we got it all buttoned up top here. We've got the shims cut off. We're gonna go ahead and bring the ladder down and cut this to length by doing the calculations and measurements it shows you. So far so good. The instruction says to open this up, and then it says to measure without the ladder down, measure from the ceiling to the floor. So it says it is 100 and it's square here. 110 inches, so 9 foot 2 inches to the ceiling. So according to our book, if Y, I'll kind of give you a bird's eye view there. It shows you on here Y, and then it shows your X measurement you need to cut off the bottom. It says Y, and it says 110. It says the Y distance is less than 110, but no more than or equal to 109. I need to cut 15 1/4 inches off of the bottom piece. So it kind of just gives you a overall, how much here. It gives you a range on what to cut off. So when it talks about the X, it's that bottom piece region. So we'll go ahead and mark that with the correct number on my specific ceiling height here, and we'll. All right, so we're going to measure 15 1/4 from the bottom, like the instruction says. So measure 15 1/4 from the bottom and make a mark. I already did one this side. We'll have our pocket square. Square that across. Carry it around. Same thing here. Square this across. And then carry it around to the other side. to do this. I already drilled the hole for you, but you just put these feet on, put a little down pressure on them, mark the hole, and then drill it with a 9/32 drill. On this side, you'll see I have a hole in the inside here. Just line it up, put your bolt through the outside, and then your nut in the inside. I'm lazy, I use an impact, but whatever you got, use it. Too tight. So, shut her down, and she's working. I think she's gonna work just fine. Mint. She's mint, boys and gals. She is mint. Let's take a gander at how it turned out. So we got the 1x4s on the outside, we got the attic ladder up installed in there, we got the pull rope installed. That's all pretty straightforward stuff. You're gonna see as we pull this down, I've got some insulation boards sitting on top for now. I'm gonna make a better insulated box, and I'm gonna put some insulation board on this here to help insulate the ceiling. It's gonna be better than nothing for right now. They do make little reflective foam back pieces we can use up there too. But I just want to add something up there to help with the insulation value, or build some type of box or something to put the R30 insulation on top. It's a whole lot better than nothing for now. And that R7 and R3, whatever I have up there, just lay over the top. That opening is going to help with the heat flow. And as I mentioned, you put your pull rope on, there's a washer tied to it. And then I got spray foam up in there. I'm going to trim off when I get a chance and make it look a little cleaner. And then I'll probably put some caulk around the bottom of the trim here just to kind of seal it in, to do every little bit I can to help with heat transfer. So everything turned out good. The ladder's in good shape. It all goes up and down nice, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. If you have any questions on the install, put them down in the comments below here, or any just generic comments in general, post them down below. I'll get to them. I like the feedback and the collaboration on the channel. Hope you all enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one. This is Kyle signing out.